Hi, this is Mitch Doan, and along with Jamie Richardson, we're your hosts of the Break-Thru Active podcast. We aim to deep dive into health and fitness that will help bring you a better understanding of topics that are of interest to you and can help you on your own journey. If you are enjoying the episodes, we'd love for you to leave us a rating on the platform you listen to your podcasts. Enough from me, sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome back again to the Break-Thru Active podcast. I am here with one of our members from Adamstown. For those of you who trained with us at Adamstown, no doubt you would have met and trained with Brad. He's been with us the last couple of years. So welcome, Brad. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's I know you're a bit of an avid podcast listener, but is this the first time you've been on one?
This is the first time I've been on Newcastle's number one podcast, that's for sure.
That's right. Hey, you're part of it now. You're part of the success. But
mate, Steve talks about it every morning, so I have to give it a listen.
No, you can claim that you were part of making it number one now, mate. All the guests are a big part of it. But no, thanks for taking a bit of time, mate. I know you're a busy man, work, gym, kids, life. So we're it's about almost 8 o'clock here, so we're putting in the long hours, mate. We're just burning the candle at both ends, as we do. But I wanted to start the conversation, talk a little bit about fitness and training, because for those of you who don't know Brad, he's been training with us since we took over the gym at Adamstown late 2019. So he was a member from the previous gym that was there and decided he liked us enough to hang around for at least a couple of years, but has been training regularly with us since then. And I know he's got a bit of a host of training history before that. So turn back the clock, mate. When did you first start, training in any gym? How old were you?
With like the cross training style?
Just anything, just even if you were just pushing weights or doing machines or whatever.
Yeah, I had a couple of mates that I trained doing weight training and stuff with, like even like as a kid, I was always doing like little athletics and playing competitive sports and things like that. So I was always sort of, relatively fit-ish.
What'd you play as a kid?
I played basketball from about 10 years old up to about sort of 17. Played representative and that sort of stuff for a number of years, and then made the switch to motorsport, started racing dirt bikes, and then did that for probably another 6 or 7 years or more, and till sort of work life overtook that. But yeah, I was always, like, even younger in high school, I had a handful of mates that were, going to the gym a couple of times a week or a few times a week. So I was doing that in and around the sports training and stuff. So that's probably when I started going to gyms. But I struggled with motivation if my mate called me and said, I can't make it, I'd be like, sweet, I'm not going either. So if I didn't have a training partner, someone that sort of held me accountable to go, I probably didn't train. And I reckon I've had 2 or 3 cracks at home gyms and they haven't worked for me either. And doing the training with you guys and the group training has been a bit of a winning formula for me anyway. It works really well for me. There's
It's
group of places every morning.
It takes a certain type of person, and to be honest, I don't really know many, if any of them, that can go and work out by themselves consistently over a long period of time. Like, there's periods where people can, lock in and do it, and whether it is for a 3-month, 6-month, 12-month period.
Yeah.
But just to do it ongoing by yourself at the gym, like big gym I'm talking about, like a Anytime Fitness or a Genesis or something. It's with your headphones in, and if you don't have a training partner, you don't have a trainer, it's almost like Groundhog Day some days where
that's why I sort of couldn't stick with it. I
yeah,
struggled doing, like, I just didn't have time, because especially doing that stuff when I was working for myself, and pretty much like, I didn't make time to set a program. I just trained the standard muscle groups, separating them through the days, and like, I did the $5 a week Anytime Fit, not Anytime Fitness, but Planet Fitness there at Orlando. And then, the hours that I could get there, it was just always 700 people there, and you could never get a machine. So I was like one of those guys that paid for a membership and never went because you could never get a machine. So I let that go for probably 6 months or so, maybe a year, before I rang him and said, I'm not coming there anymore. I should probably stop paying you guys.
I think it's almost like they set up their business model that way, where they charge such a stupid amount of, like, how cheap it is that people won't even like notice that they're paying.
Yeah, that's right.
And then like you, like, oh shit, like it's been 12 months and I haven't set in there. But it's because that's the other thing. Like you're a busy guy. You run your own business, and then obviously at the time you probably didn't have the family you have now. But when you are pressed for time, you don't want to be fart-assing around and be there for an hour and a half, 2 hours to get your weights, your cardio, your warm-up, cool down, all that stuff in. So that's something we hear quite a lot, where just the time commitment, and as you get busier, you get less time for yourself. Like I know for yourself, you're there first thing in the morning, otherwise it just doesn't happen. Which is the same for a lot of people. But if you're trying to do, 75, 90 minutes, 2 hours, which sometimes it can take if you're sort of making your own program and you're waiting for equipment and things, it just all adds up. But just backtracking a bit, when you were playing basketball and doing motocross a bit later on, was there ever an emphasis on gym work back then, like to do stuff with the team or by yourself?
No, not really. It was like heavy cardio, like especially when I was doing the representative stuff, and then like that it was just like heavy cardio and like reaction time sort of activities. No weights. Like I was, to be honest, like I was 16, 17 sort of when I wrapped that up with the basketball side of things. So I guess because we're still sort of younger and your body's still sort of developing at that stage, I don't think they pushed the weights too much. I'm just trying to think. I think that might have been around when I may have started going to the gym with a couple of mates, but I don't really think it was weight training. I think it was like my body was knackered, like from all the cardio
running,
because I was in a couple of different teams. So I think I was training through 3 to 4 days a week anyway.
Didn't really need
it. And refereeing and doing,
This was back in Bathurst. You grew up in Bathurst, right?
Yeah.
It's there's been definitely like a bit of a switch the last probably really only a couple of years, like because that would have been like mid-90s, I guess. So whether or not that they've just done more research on it, or I guess training's just changed in that amount of time as well. But if you were to see a young kid now who was 16 or 17 playing professional basketball, he'd probably maybe by himself just because it's a little bit more popular now, but would probably be in the gym doing some weights and doing some resistance stuff. Not like super heavy weights or anything, but just a base level of resistance to help build their body, because I guess that is, even though your body is developing, it is a really good time that you can build muscle because you're going through so much change in your body. And the same, even back then, it was kind of only like sports like football where you would be playing, where you would be lifting weights because you needed to be big and bulky, but it's all changed now. Like I'm into my golf, and you see all the golfers on tour lifting weights and things. And, years ago it was, if you didn't have a smoke hanging out of your mouth and a beer in your hand, you weren't really even a golfer. So it's just interesting to see the
peak athletic performance. Our golfers back then.
Some of them still are. I'm not here saying that they're all like super fit and healthy, but it was a tour of John Daly's, really. He's peak.
That'd be the only way you'd catch me golfing. A couple of tins and a cart. I wouldn't be walking the course, that's for sure.
No, it takes all the fun out of it when you walk. Cool. And so obviously in recent years we've linked up. You were training with the gym before us, and you were there for a couple of years as well, 2 or 3 years, I think. So you've been doing like, I guess probably about 5 years of this style of training now. What do you like about it? Like what keeps you, wanting to keep doing this style of training?
Oh, definitely don't like the Pasha Bulker. I like the variation. I guess it's more the variation. Like I reckon I get bored easy. Like, because I don't know, I'm always doing a lot of different things, and even with our business, like, it's really diverse. We do a really broad variety of things. And that's sort of worked well for us, having a different customer bases. We don't just go quiet when one industry goes quiet. We're sort of pretty lucky. We've got a real big range of customers. So I really like diversity and change. So this style of training is pretty different. And it's all programmed, man. I don't have to think about it. Just look at the board when I get there, and there's generally something different. There's a good mix. Like, in the beginning, I thought about like the CrossFit thing, and then I don't know, it just seemed a bit wanky for me. Like, I had a few mates doing CrossFit, and I kind of saw, like, if you didn't put it on Facebook or Instagram, you didn't even train.
Didn't count.
Yeah, no, it doesn't count unless you post your WOD or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think that's probably the main thing that we hear from members and from people is avoiding that monotony within training, because I get, like you said, your work and your business, you sound like you get a lot of different days there. Like, it's not that same thing you're doing every day, but a lot of people, that's what their life is. They turn up to work at the same time, and they sit in the same cubicle, and they're on the same program that they work on, and they take their break at the same time, same customers, same everything. So it gives them a little bit of a break from that, routine that they get in and out of every single day. And it can become a bit mind numbing when you do the same thing day in and day out. But like yourself, running a business, there are no 2 days at the same. And I think there are a certain amount of people, whether they're business owners or not, but they just crave that change. They almost like to know, or not to know, what's coming that day, whether it be, the day at work, or who they're going to have lunch with, or what they're going to have for lunch. And that sort of ties in with workouts as well. And to go sort of full circle on the conversation, we have people that will start with us, and they've been at a gym before, like a big, like a Planet Fitness or something like that, and they'll go in and they'll jump on the treadmill, set it on the same setting, and walk the same amount of time, and then they'll go to the same machine, and then they'll do the same circuit of machines, and they'll go grab the same lot of dumbbells. And I truly think that's
wonder why they can't stick with it.
Well, exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, I truly believe that's why a lot of people, give up so quickly with that style, because it's just that shit boring. To be honest. But it's so obviously, and the members know that I do the programming, and whenever I'm putting it together, some days harder than others.
I had to bite my tongue there. Sorry.
Some days a little bit more challenging than others, but I always, before I even think about, how can I incorporate this exercise, or how can I focus on this area of the body, or whatever it may be, I think about how is it different from what we've been doing this week and last week, because I really think that having that variety is what people like. And like you just mentioned, it's what keeps a lot of people coming back, I think, having some different styles, and no 2 days are the same, which I think is important.
I also find, especially on those challenging days that you mentioned, but
I put that one very eloquently, didn't I? Challenge.
I'm still waiting for you to put that suggestion box up, because I'm going to fill it up on the first day.
Haven't you? No, we've got one there now. I showed someone it the other day. It's just out the front of the roller door on the right-hand side. It's got a red lid.
With the red lid?
Yeah. It's been there the whole time. Gets emptied every Monday morning about 6 o'clock.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, the other thing I like about this style of training is because we sort of seem to be sort of pushing and exerting ourselves a fair bit. I find, because you're probably similar as a business owner, but I find my brain is just going 100 miles an hour, like all day. And I find that it's like that 1 hour where it's like shut off, and all I'm thinking about is trying to breathe.
Trying to survive.
I just need to keep breathing so that I don't die for that 45 minutes or whatever it is. So I find it like my mind just goes quiet. I'm not thinking about anything else other than my training. And then the app is really good too, because I look at what, especially the workouts that we've done previously that pop up, and it shows you your history. I do find myself checking that and looking what I did last time, and trying to like I'm racing myself then, trying to improve. And then I sort of use that as a bit of a guide, right? Have I, been improving, or have I been drinking too much beer and I'm at the same level as I was 4 months ago?
Be a bit of both.
Yeah.
Drinking beer and seeing progress.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. And I think,
hey guys, just very quickly, if you have been enjoying our podcast and you've been watching us on YouTube, I would love for you to subscribe to our channel. If you've been listening to our podcast, give us a follow, give us a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify or wherever it is that you've been listening to us. It really helps the channel grow, and I would be extremely appreciative and grateful if you took a moment to do that for me. Okay, that's it from me. Enjoy the rest of the show.
The reason, when we we brought that app in, which is Wodify, for anyone who's not a member but may have heard of it, but it was just before all the COVID stuff, and it worked out really well because it has all the session bookings and things. And when we had to be very particular about how many people we could have in the gym, it was really handy. I mean, it was essential at that time. Otherwise, we would have been up shit creek we would have had to have the security guard at the door saying, you can't come in where it said. But yeah, why we originally got it, because this was before all that happened, was we were sick of people who would only sort of gauge their progress and gauge their, results off how much they weigh and what they see on the scales. A lot of people, come to us for weight loss, or, I think it's just natural for most people wanting just to shift a few kilos, like for the most part. And, we had people who would train really hard and had been for months and months and months, and then they'd be upset and disappointed because they'd only lost a few kilos, or they hadn't lost any weight, or Lord forbid, they put on a little bit of weight. But I wanted to have a bit of a different way to showcase your results. And that's where, whether you are tracking your strength stuff, so like the strength exercises we do, or you keep track of the workouts, and I try to program redos, repeat workouts every so often, and you can compare that to when we've done it 3, 6, 12. Even now it's like 24 months ago, like some of the workouts. And like you mentioned, I imagine it's very, well, I know it because I do it myself too, but it is very motivating to see you knock off a couple of minutes off that workout that you did 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's a nice way to think, oh shit, well, the hard work I'm putting in's paying off.
Yeah.
So I think,
and also brings you back to reality when you see others times and you're like, holy shit.
how'd they finish so fast?
Yeah.
No, that's good. But I think the main thing we hear is just that variety, and then having a bit of change every day. And for someone like yourself who's busy, you don't want to be spending as much as you love us, I know you do, but you don't want to be spending any more time there than you have to. And then, like you said, 45 minutes, you're in and out. And you brought up a really good point where not very, very often these days where we have 45 minutes without like our phone in our pocket or on our desk or in our hand.
Yeah.
So that's comments that I get quite often where it's like, oh, it's really nice. You just zone out from everything. Because I'm sure for you, you'd have your phone pretty much attached to you throughout your working day.
Yeah. It's not very quiet.
Yeah. So just to have a period of the day where it's yours, and like you said, you can let go of any stress you've got or any worries that you might have from the day before or the day that's upcoming. And
yeah. Well, the other thing is like I don't. It's like it's almost guilt-free time because I get up and go to the gym before anyone else in my house gets out of bed. So like I'm not taking time away. Like my time with my family is relatively limited anyway. And I figure if I go to the gym and train, nobody's missing me except so like when I get home, usually young Ava, she's sitting at the door going, how come it took you so long? What have you been doing? I'm still trying to recover and breathe.
If I know Ava, which I don't too well, but I know she'd probably have about 23 questions for you by the time you walk in 7 o'clock.
Yeah. She's gonna grow into someone like Brody trying to ask you 50 questions when you get off the bike.
And while you're on the bike, she doesn't wait till you finish.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So talk a little bit about your business, mate. You mentioned it a few times. I know about it, but do you want to share what your business does and how long you've been doing that for?
Yeah, we've got like a customized fabrication business where we predominantly manufacture sort of customized solutions for like industrial applications. So like mine sites, power stations, like councils, water boards, and then predominantly a lot of what we manufacture is electrical related. Like I'm a industrial electrician by trade, but the business started out doing electrical contracting, and then the fabrication stuff was just sort of like a side hustle, I guess. And then it grew into the main business, and then we sort of switched off the contracting side of the business a few years ago. When the mining stuff picked up, they needed to acquire heaps of labor, so they pretty much poached all my blokes. So we lost all our, like most of our electrician labor to the sites that we were contracting to. So I just saw it as a bit of a sign. And by that time, our fabrication business was big enough to support me doing that full time. There was a while where I was doing a lot of work on site and then come back. So we'd get up at 3:30. I'd be hour and 45 minutes travel up to site, and then it'd be on site ready to start before 6, and then do anywhere between sort of 8 to 12 hours on site, and then an hour and 45 minutes travel back, and then try and run the side hustle business, like check emails and order stuff and keep an eye on things, and then and then try and get a bit of shut eye. And
wouldn't have been
yeah,
told
so
so
it's
much.
long days in the early days. I kicked it off around 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you completely sort of shifted. I didn't know of that change, but it's very, very interesting. You just had way more of a demand for the stuff you're doing now.
Yeah. And like, well, I really enjoy because lots of what we do is like solutions based. So our customers come to us with an application that they need a certain thing to do a certain job, and we sort of come up with something that solves their problems, I guess.
Yeah.
And because we offer a sort of a handful of different services, lots of the bigger businesses come to us because they can just come to us and we solve 3 or 4 problems and deliver a complete ready to use part, with all the bits and pieces that they need put together, and then you have to raise one purchase order. I guess it's like streamlining their job a little bit.
Okay. And what sort of made you want to become a business owner? Like you obviously were an employee or a contractor before that, and then you just hit the bullet and went all in on this.
Yeah, I reckon I would have thought twice if someone warned me what was involved. That's for sure.
You don't know all those really fun things about it until much.
It's like I did work for like a larger organization as an electrician, and I felt a little bit taken advantage of because I went and or I felt that I was better than the average electrician, and I'd been and upskilled myself. I was essentially had 3 trades, being able to fabricate and weld and make brackets and things like that, as well as instrumentation type work with calibrating instruments in power stations and things like that. So I was able to do a broad variety of things, but my boss at the time was, I guess his KPIs were profitability on the business, and he got bonuses based on that. So if he could pay me less and get me to do the work that he could charge out more, then there was more margin for the giant global corporation that didn't need more money and less for me. So I just got sick of that. So I thought, got to have a crack. And
13 years on, we're still going.
Yeah. You never stop learning though, I'll tell you.
No, I think that's a big part of what I like about being a business owner too. Obviously, Jamie and I share the reins, but there's always stuff you don't know. There's always stuff that you can improve. And, getting back to what you were saying earlier about no 2 days being the same, I think that's, over time, what you really do start to enjoy, that you've got different problems, you've got different challenges, you've got different things you're sort of dealing with and different things you're working on. And you never really stop learning. You think, at some points, it all and nothing. You're never going to come across something you haven't seen before, but it's as history shows, there's always something.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest challenge is about being an owner? I know we've spoke a bit about staffing before, but I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Oh yeah, like people are definitely a huge challenge with owning a business, and like I think, for me, I do think people are one of the biggest, like staff are one of the biggest challenges. And I'm probably my own worst enemy in given too many chances, where I should probably pull the stumps up sooner than I do when I decide someone probably not quite fit for our business. I kind of try and, I guess I'm a bit too compassionate. Everyone's got their own stuff, their own home life and things. He's only young, he doesn't know, so we'll give him another chance and he can learn. And that sort of mentality. So like I do think people are a really big challenge. and like work is work. I guess what I've really tried to look for in hiring people, especially in the last few years, I ask more questions about what they enjoy doing away from work, and see if they've got hobbies related to the job that I'm employing them to do. Because if you're hiring someone to do a job, but all their hobbies are rock climbing and fishing and all that other stuff, but they don't have any hobbies that are even remotely related to their job, that's all it'll ever be for them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing. Like, not everybody has to have this like all-in career on their job, but like I'm massive on making our workplace enjoyable to be. So if they don't enjoy being there and they just see it as just a job or just a place to go to get money, then they have the potential to bring that environment down a peg from where it could be if they really loved and were really into what they were doing. Because, like we've got metal fabricators that, in their spare time, they're making stuff at home all the time, and they're tinkering and that sort of thing. So
they love it
when so they love it. So I guess that's probably what we like. And I talk to my friends, same thing. They complain, I hate my job and I hate this. I'm like, well, you don't really like that stuff, mate. Like, find something you really enjoy. Oh yeah, but the money won't be the same. And I said, yeah, but like, it'll only be a matter of time. The money will come. You need to really enjoy what you do, because you work a third of your life generally.
Yeah. Such a massive part of your day, your week, and your life.
I can't believe people are just so easily, I guess that whole dangling carrot, like people will just do what they hate just for a paycheck, rather than look for something they enjoy, and be happy about where they're going. And
for us as well, we got a great team, so like we're very, very fortunate, but it's a bit.
But you can see it in your trainers that they enjoy being there.
Yeah,
right? They're not standing in the corner of the room going, "Yeah, go guys," while they're standing there staring at their phone. Yeah, you're doing well. Yeah. You can see it in your staff that they enjoy being there.
Well, that's good to hear that from someone like yourself. But yeah, if we were looking for someone and they didn't enjoy working out themselves, or they didn't enjoy helping people, then they're not really. They might know all the stuff you need to know about training, but it's always, like you mentioned, it's going to just be a job that they come in and clock on and clock off, and work sucks. And with that probably comes a bit more absenteeism and a bit more of disconnect from everything. So
they also affect the others around them. Like if they
can be cancerous.
Like into it. Yeah, that's right. And that was something I worked through a few years ago. We had guys like that and it just spread, and it took so much work and effort to try and turn the culture of our business around, because it was pretty ordinary for a period, and it's definitely an uphill challenge.
What do they say? You should hire slow and fire fast, something like that. Because if you drag, and I know what you're saying, and I haven't really ever had to go through what you were saying with getting rid of people or anything, but yeah, the longer that drags on, the worse is for everyone, and the worse it is for that person too, because they could be off doing something in their next chapter and new job, new career, whatever. But yeah, one of those things, mate. People they can be challenging, but when you find good ones, you hold on to them with everything you've got, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
We might wrap that one up there, mate. But yeah, appreciate you coming on tonight, mate, taking some time out. And we're about 3 years and counting since we've first graced you graced us with your presence. But no, we love having you down there, mate. And your wife, Brushka, she's back training with us now, and love having her down there too. So yeah, appreciate all the support and everything over the years, mate. And yeah, love having you on board. Looking forward to the next couple of years too, hopefully.
No worries. Yeah, I'll have a chat to you when you turn off about that Steve bloke. I don't know if he's long term for you. He needs a bit of work.
Yeah, we'll talk off camera.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Have a good night.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If there is a topic you'd like us to discuss that we haven't already, please make sure you reach out in Facebook Messenger and we'll do our best to cover it in the upcoming episodes. For those of you enjoying the podcast, we'd love for you to like, subscribe and leave us a rating. It really helps us grow and spread the good word. Hoping you're all having a great day, and we'll be sure to see you on the next one.